So today we're going to look at how you can graph lines when the equation itself is written in slope-intercept form. So first we're going to go over what slope-intercept form is. So the slope-intercept form of a line is described by the form y equals mx plus b. So when an equation is in this form, m represents the slope of the line, and b represents the y-intercept. So recall that the y-intercept is the point where the line crosses the y-axis. So when we go to graph equations that are in slope-intercept form, you're going to look at the equation. So the first one you see is y equals 2x plus 1. So you first want to make sure that your equation is in slope-intercept form, which this one is. Now, we're going to start by plotting your y-intercept, which is b. So we're going to start on the y-axis at 1, because that's our y-intercept. And then now we're going to move according to our slope. So recall that slope is rise over run. So this 2, or any whole number, is understood to be over 1. So from this point, from our y-intercept, we're going to move up 2 and over 1. And that would be our slope. Now, you all know that 2 over 1 is the same as negative 2 over negative 1, because we know that a negative divided by a negative is a positive. So you could also start at the y-intercept and you could move down 2 and 1 to the left. Keep going down and 1 to the left, down 2, 1 to the left. And then eventually, I want you to plot at least 3 points. And then you're going to take those 3 points and you're going to connect them to form a line. Okay? So let's try that with this equation here. So your equation, as you can see, is y equals negative 3x plus 2. So this time our equation is in slope-intercept form. So now we're going to start at our y-intercept, which is 2. So you're going to put a point on the y-axis at 2. Again, our slope is negative 3, so we're going to make sure that we remember that that negative 3 is understood to be over 1. And now from here, because it's negative, we're going to go down 3 and over 1. The positive 1 means you're moving 1 to the right. So down 3, 1 to the right. Now, again, you could also go up 3 and 1 to the left. That would also work. And again, when you connect your points, you end up with a straight line. One thing you should always do is go back and check your line. Notice the slope of this line is negative because your slope is supposed to be negative, right? You have a negative 3. Here, our slope was positive 2, and so notice that that line tilted upward from left to right. Okay, our last equation is y equals negative x minus 1. So again, you want to make sure your equation is in slope-intercept form, which it is. Now we're going to start by plotting our y-intercept, which is negative 1. So you're going to start on the y-axis at negative 1. And this time, notice there's no number written in front of x. So we know that when no number is written in, it's understood to be 1. But here you have a negative x. So that means our slope is negative 1. Okay, so again, you can think of that as negative 1 over 1, because we want to, again, reinforce that rise over run. So that means we're going to go down 1 and 1 to the right. Down 1 and 1 to the right. Or we could also go up 1 and 1 to the left. Okay, because that means 1 over negative 1 is the same as negative 1 divided by 1. They're both negative 1. So once you have about 3 points, again, you're going to connect them to get your graph of the line. Okay. So let's try one more like that. So we're going to look at this middle problem. This time, notice we don't have a whole number, we have a fraction here. So the equation, if you can't see it, the equation is y equals negative 2/3 x minus 3. Okay? So this means our slope is negative 2/3 and our y-intercept, or our b value, is negative 3. So we're going to start on our y-axis again at negative 3. This time, our slope is negative 2/3, so that means we're gonna go down 2 over 3. So that's another point on that line. We could also move up 2 and 3 to the left. And the reason why I can do that is 2 divided by negative 3 is the same as negative 2 over positive 3. Both of them have a slope of negative 2/3. Now we're going to connect those points, and we're going to end up with a straight line whose slope is negative 2/3. The y-intercept is negative 3. And notice again that your line tilts downward because of the fact that it has a negative slope. Okay, so we're going to try some problems like this tomorrow in class, and we're going to review all the different types of graphs that we've covered. So we're going to graph one variable form, we're going to graph lines in standard form, and in slope-intercept form. Okay?